guys, we are going to start the carne con chile, the beef tips with hot sauce. And I have here a small stock pot, and I am going to add some tomatoes. I am going to make approximately 3 pounds of beef, okay? So this is about what you need. I don't do anything exact. I just write the measurements that I use for the amount that I use. Okay, now I'm going to use chile serranos. If you don't have serranos, you can use jalapenos. I don't want it super spicy, so I'm only going to put 4 chiles. And I'm also going to use the chile guajillo. This is just 2 that I seeded, and I deveined them and cut them in half just for make it easier to puree it. 2 garlic cloves and a 1/4 of an onion. And we are going to add some Comino seeds. If you don't have Comino seeds, you can use Comino powder. But you can add the Comino powder to the meat. You don't have to add it in here. We are going to add some salt to this. And of course we season in layers as always. And we're going to put this on the stove and get it to boil just until the tomatoes are soft. And then we'll get started on the meat. Okay, now for the beef, I just take my sirloin steak, my round steak, any cheaper cut of meat, because we are going to cook this for a little while. So I just take off, extra fat, and then I just cut it into little strips, and then I cube it. Okay, you cut it the size that you like it. I like it about this size, about like that. Okay, so we're just going to continue to cut the meat. Okay, now that we have our meat all cut up, I am going to go ahead and slice the onion that we're going to use a little bit later in the recipe. But I just like to have all my ingredients ready. And just dice it, chop it, however you like to use your onion. This doesn't matter in this recipe. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to transfer y'all over to the stove and we'll get started with the meat. Guys, the tomatoes and the chile serranos are ready, but they're too hot to puree right now. So I'm going to take them off the stove and let them cool for a while before I puree them. In the meantime, we're going to start with the meat. So I'm just going to take this off the stove and we'll start the meat. Okay guys, I have a skillet that I warmed up. We're going to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in here, and we are going to add our meat. Going to add some salt, not too much, because remember our sauce has a little bit of salt, and some pepper. Okay, we're going to let this sit and simmer for about 30 minutes or so. I'll come back and show you in stages how this is going to work. In the meantime, we are cooling off the tomatoes and the chile serranos with the onion, and we're going to puree them as soon as it's cool. So I'll be back in a little bit to show y'all how this is turning out. Okay guys, it's only been about 10 minutes, but I want to show y'all how the meat starts to release its own water. Okay, so we're just going to keep cooking this down for a while, but I just want to show you what it looks like. Okay, you see how it starts to release its own water? I hope you can see that. Okay, and that's what we want. We want to just keep letting this go, and we'll be back. Okay guys, the tomatoes and chiles have been cooling for a little while, so we're going to go ahead and puree them. So everything goes into the blender. Okay, we're going to add some of the water, not all of it. Just about like that. But we're going to reserve the rest of the liquid. Don't discard it yet. Okay, now we're just going to puree it until it's very finely pureed, very smooth. Okay, now we have this pureed. We're going to reserve it until we're ready for it when the meat is just about ready. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, it's been about 20 minutes, and I'm going to uncover this and let the natural water of the meat evaporate before we move on to the next step. And as you can see, I hope, the water is evaporating, and we add our onions to fry it up with the meat. So that's our next step. So we're just going to let the water evaporate, and then we're on to the next step. Okay, now that the water has all evaporated, you can kind of hear the meat sizzle a little bit now. That's when you know you're ready to go for the onions, okay? So we have our chopped onions that we chopped earlier, and we're just going to put them in and saute them. And we're going to let this meat get a little bit of color and saute the onions until they are tender or translucent. So we're just going to let this sit here, toss it every couple of minutes so that it doesn't burn. Okay, the onions are translucent and I have a little bit of color on the bottom of the skillet. So we are going to add our sauce now. I want you to see the bottom of the skillet. You can see the brown on the bottom of the skillet. Okay, that's when you're ready to add in your sauce. Okay, we're just going to add it all in. And we're going to give it a mix. And this is where you're going to taste it. As soon as it starts to simmer just a little bit, this is when you're going to taste it to see if it needs more salt. And you adjust it to how you or your family likes it, okay? I will adjust it to how I like it, and it's a little thick, and this is why I tell you to reserve the water from the tomatoes. I'm going to add a little bit more, and then we're just going to cover it and let it simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes. And just keep an eye on it. Scrape the bottom of the pan, get up all that brown stuff that's at the bottom of the pan. Okay, there we go. We're going to cover it, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, we're going to throw a little extra bonus footage here. I'm going to make some rice to go with the meat that we're making. And this is just 1 cup of rice, okay? We're a small family, so this is all we need. But you can double or triple or quadruple this recipe very easily. I've already browned the rice just like that. Put it on low heat. Saute it with some oil. So we're to the point where we're going to move on here. We're going to add in our onion and garlic and saute that lightly. Saute is pretty quick, so don't step away from this because you don't want your rice to burn. Okay. And now I have my broth here. I have everything in here already. I have my chicken broth, my tomato sauce, my spices, and I will have everything listed. And this is just one way that I make rice. And this is a quick recipe, guys. It takes no effort. Stir it up. And then I put a cup of peas and carrots. I turn down the heat. As soon as this comes to a simmer, I turn down the heat to medium. And then we're going to cover it. Okay, you see it's already starting to break some bubbles there. So we're just going to watch it just a little bit longer. Okay, now it's to the simmer. We're going to cover it. Turn it way down, the lowest setting that you have on your stove, and set the timer for 20 minutes. That's all you need for this recipe for rice. I do have another recipe on my channel for Mexican rice, just like this without the vegetables. You can take a look there, or I'll put it up on the top of the screen here. Okay guys, here's our meat. I just turned it off. It's been about 30 minutes. We're going to give it a stir, and then we're going to uncover it and let it cook for 10 more minutes, and then it's done, okay? And then of course you check the tenderness of the meat yourself, okay? So what I do, just to make sure, I just get a fork. You see how it's breaking up real easy? Still needs just a little bit more. So we're going to leave it uncovered, let it cook for about 15 more minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay guys, it's been about a few minutes and the meat is ready. As you can see, it thickened up a lot. I did check the tenderness of the meat and it's pretty tender, ready to eat. So I'm just going to let it sit and we're going to wait for our rice to be done, and then I'll plate it up and we'll be back. Okay guys, the rice is ready. It was 20 minutes exactly. Normally I will not uncover this. I'll let it sit for 10 minutes, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. See all that steam? We want that to stay in there to finish cooking the rice. And just like I said, let it sit 10 minutes and that's it. Okay, I'll be back to plate all this up. Okay guys, here's our dish for today. The carne con chile and our Spanish rice. I will have the recipe linked below as always, and I will have a video up in the eye in the sky there for another recipe for Spanish rice that I have. And this is delicious. I hope you give it a try. I know it's not really kid friendly, but if you want to make it for the kids, just eliminate the serrano peppers altogether. The chile guajillos are not spicy, so they should be okay. But this is our dish. This is a very traditional dish that we serve in my household. And of course, rice we have all the time. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, guys, leave it in the comments below. Leave some comments, guys. I love to read all your comments and respond back to you. It sure helps us get recognized on YouTube algorithm. So that would be nice if y'all leave some comments and share my videos. Again, thank you for watching my videos, guys, and go visit us on Facebook and Instagram at Virtual Kitchen with Laura. Okay, guys, stay home, stay safe. Talk to y'all later. Bye.